Welcome to MJ Loves Toku, episode 60. I'm MJ, I love Tokusatsu, and right now I want to talk about Kamen Rider Zero-One, episode 35.5. And first of all, the credits for this episode are... It was written by Yuya Takahashi and directed by Masaya Kakehi. That's how you pronounce that name, or how I pronounce it anyway. So this is another clip show. I hope that this is the the final clip show, and that we will be moving on to the standard plot that we've been missing because of the pause of production on Kamen Rider Zero-One because of the COVID-19 outbreak and the reaction to it and whatnot. So, anyway, this episode was interesting because we got to meet the mysterious Azu and see her interviewing or discussing the singularity points of the four members of Metta Mochan. It seemed as after she talked to the first three, that which would be Hirobi, Ikazuchi, I think that's what they're calling them, Ikazuchi, and Naki, excuse me, that she was able to do something to them which damaged their minds or hurt them in some way. She took something away from them as she used this new progressed key, or whatever it's going to end up being called, but it's a progressed key-like item. It looks like an evil progressed key, and I believe it's the command or whatever that it speaks is malice learning or something like that, like malice ability learning. I think is what it says. And basically, she extracts this data from their heads. Oh, here's the... If you're looking at the screen, you can see the image right now. Anyway, it looks something like the Assault Wolf trigger. So, it's like that type of thing, but an evil version of it. So, I don't know if it's going to be... If the Arc Rider or whatever is going to have a Zero-One belt, or what? Actually, I can look over at that right now. So again, if you're looking at the blog, he's got like an evil Zero-One driver. It looks like it's pretty close. It's evilish. It's got a big red circle. Kind of reminds me of Kamen Rider Black's belt, which is cool. I don't remember what the name of Kamen Rider Black's belt is. I remember Black RX is called the Sunriser. I think they just call Black's belt the Kingstone. He has the Kingstone in his belt, and Shadow Moon has the other Kingstone. And then the fun fact, the Sunriser, the reason there's two red circles, I know I'm going way off track with this, but just listen to me, because Kamen Rider Black RX is really cool. Despite what the haters say, it's cool. You gotta check it out for yourself. Anyway, don't believe me, you gotta check the sources. His Kingstone gets split in half. His Kingstone is red, and then he has two red circles in his belt. So I'm pretty sure the Sunriser takes his two stones that he has now, because his one Kingstone has been broken in half, and kind of is powered off of those, which is pretty neat, if you ask me. Anyway, so sorry about that distraction, but yeah, Azu was going around sucking data out of these guys, but when she went to Jin, it seemed like maybe he was able to he either extracted data from her somehow, or he was just not affected by it. And that's really the most interesting thing that happens. Another interesting element is that despite the fact that she's evil, and supposedly Metta Mochan is really bad, excuse me, each of the other three Humagears of Metta Mochan who reach singularity through love and positivity, and because they wanted to do good and help people, or at least help Humagears, and maybe it was a specific Humagear. Hirobi wanted to save Jin because of his fatherliness, which is a human emotion, right? Human reaction. I know animals are fatherly too, but he was designed by humans to be fatherly and paternal, and that is what helped lead him to reach his singularity. Naki did it for the sake of all Humagears, out of care for them, but as a systems engineer. So distant and coldly through her understanding of how to work with system stuff. And then the way it's framed, Ikazuchi did what he did, or reached singularity, because of the love of his little brother. He was also hacked and compromised, so I don't know exactly how that all squares, but at least the way they framed it, they want you to believe that it's because of the love of his little brother. And then Azu like knows this, and she's trying to dig deeper because each of them is like putting them up a front basically, and saying like, oh no, I went bad because of this, or I reached singularity because of how much I hate humans, want to kill them. It's like, and then she comes back to them and it's like, well, isn't it really because of love and how much you loved this individual? And let me explain to you, and let's roll the footage and see the clips of how it was actually your love that brought you to this point. And then she like strips that away from them, and then they kind of lose their individuality, and they start talking about how this is all for the will of the Ark and whatnot. So I found that interesting. I guess I understand why why evil is being spoken of, because the things that she's doing are evil, like stripping away the individuality of sentient beings who you're supposed to like respect. The dignity of and whatnot is evil, and that's what Ark seems to be doing. And she's now working for the Ark, which apparently now is a dude. They always to me spoke about Satellite Zaya, which is what the good guys use, as like a female, and then you have this like evil and malice and real bunch of negative energy coming from this Ark dude, Satellite Kamen Rider guy who's coming up to, I guess, be the final villain of the show. And that's, I don't know, I'm okay with that technically. I'm not one who really believes in toxic masculinity off like blindly. Like, we could talk about negative things that men do, but we could also talk about negative things that women do, and I think there's good and bad in both. And you got to look at the individual and see their actions and judge them for what they are, their actions, and not blame a whole class of people. In fact, I think blaming a whole class of individuals for the actions of some of their compatriots is kind of evil, and that leads to evil and suffering when you think that you can take one person and then generalize to a whole class. That seems to create a lot of negativity and has a lot of negative consequences. And I think that's kind of something that's a theme in Zero-One, because we have Humagears, and then we have Aruto saving them, and then we have people who, like, Thouser, or like a Matsugai, want to say, no, they're all evil and they all must be destroyed, and I'm going to, help commit genocide against them. And I don't know, I don't want to think like that, especially because that's how the villain of the show thinks, and he's obviously bad, and he's been shown to be morally in the wrong time and time again. And, if little kids are learning that by watching that, I would think adults would learn that by watching that too. So, anyway, just think about that before you tell me I'm evil for not believing in toxic masculinity. So anyway, I'm really interested to see, what happens with that. I love the little twist that we don't know who rebuilt Jin. We don't know where he came from. And who he's working with, because he seems to be running some sort of counter operation against the Ark. I almost wonder if this is going to turn out to be some sort of secret thing that Koronosuke Hiden is actually still alive, and we're going to end up seeing him. I don't know what that would do for the show, how that would be positive, but I don't know. It's interesting. The mysterious aspect of that is interesting to me, and I really hope it has a good payoff. Because I really am curious as to, why Jin is still around, and who's helping him. And I'm wondering what Jin's resolution will be, because I think, what his true nature is going to be, it was a plot point here, but it didn't get addressed, so they're kind of teasing that out. And it's something I hadn't thought about before. What was Jin's purpose? And I'm almost wondering if he's some sort of, like, healing Humagear, or, like, helpful Humagear, that was supposed to assist people, and that's why he wanted to be friends with all the Humagears, and why he is looking to free them in like a different way, and if that's going to help him. The only thing I have against that, the only bad thing about that, is that what these individuals are hardwired with these Humagear who are supposed to have their own dreams, and who are supposed to be like free individuals, or reaching free individuals with their singularity, it means like their base coding makes them who they are, or makes them like, it dictates what will be important to them. and like what matters to them. And you would think that to make the point even stronger that they'd be able to go against their programming, but maybe that's something that's coming up next. It's hard to say. Let's see. I'm kind of excited about Kamen Rider Arc. I wonder if he's gonna like take over Hirobi and ride over him, because he's using the bow and arrow and stuff. And you want a good suit actor, and you know, Seiji Ishikawa is the suit actor for Hirobi, and he was the Heisei era suit actor for I think everybody but Kuga. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but that sounds about right. So anyway, that's pretty much all I have to say. I thought this was the best clip show yet. There were a lot of juicy little tidbits in there. I honestly only watched one other one though. I think I watched the 2 President specials, and I may have spoken about the first one but not the second one, because it was just so much. I felt like it added so little new stuff that it wasn't worthwhile to talk about. And then I skipped the shooting specials, and instead I was talking about the original Kamen Rider with Takeshi Hongo, and that was lots of fun. So if you haven't checked those out, I'll make a little playlist to put here, and you can see those. Or if you're not watching on YouTube, you can just go to mjmuniers.com/MJ Loves Toku, or look under podcasts for the MJ Loves Toku feed, and you can see those there. But maybe I'll put a link on the page too. Anyway, that's pretty much all I have to say. If you want to share some of your speculation on what you think is going to happen, I would be interested to hear that. And if you've watched all the clip shows from Zero-One, did you think this one was the best of them all? And or did I miss something in the shooting specials that I really should have seen? I'm curious to know. Anyway, that's pretty much all I have to say. So if you have anything to add, please reach out to me. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm open. I'm open for conversation and for learning and for discussion. And I hope you are too. But before I go, I do not want Amatsugai to be redeemed by fighting against this evil Arc Kamen Rider that he helped create by feeding it nothing but malice. It'd be like torturing a person, then being shocked when they turned out to be a bad guy, and then, well, I'm going to be the hero by fighting against this evil person. But didn't you help make them evil? Well, yeah, I did, but I'm still the hero, 1,000%. I don't want to see that. Do you think that's going to happen? That's a good question. Do you think that's going to happen, and how will you feel about him being redeemed by fighting off the Arc, which is the thing that he helped create? If you enjoyed this, like, comment, and share to help me grow. Don't forget to subscribe to keep current with each release. Chat with me on Twitter at MJ_scribe. Visit mjmunoz.com/podcast to find the multiple feeds in which I analyze Star Wars, tokusatsu, comics, and more. Visit mjmunoz.com/support for links to my Redbubble and Coffee pages, so you can help keep me doing the things I do. Thank you so much for your time and attention. Until next time, be well, and remember, you don't have to shout henshin to be a hero.